Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Great to have you here today. Excited to start the week on our Motivation and Mindset Monday show. And the topic that I wanted to bring you today, I think it's a great way to start the week, isn't necessarily on trying to drive you forward to any specific one goal, but really go through a philosophy, really think about a certain way of looking at life that I believe if you do that, it makes success or moving forward in life or growth or happiness just much easier to achieve. It's because you are embodying a philosophy rather than forcing yourself in order to do things to move your life forward, because really nobody loves or likes at all to be forced to do things. What we choose to do, what we want to do, are things that we enjoy. And I was really confronted with this last week when I was listening to an excerpt of a podcast where they were talking about this culture we have of comfort. And really it's been, I would say, no more displayed ever than over this past year during the pandemic, when so many people were working from home. And really what a day looked like for a lot of people, honestly, was waking up in the morning to whenever maybe they didn't have an alarm clock, whenever they decided to wake up. And when they woke up, what is the first thing they did? Well, they kind of just moseyed about for a little bit, checked their phone, might have gotten ready, brushed their teeth, used the bathroom. Then what do? Well, they head over to their kitchen. They pour themselves a bowl of cereal with the milk and everything they have right there in the refrigerator. They have a glass of juice, whatever the typical American is doing. Or I'd say anyone in the Western-based world. We live in a very, again, comfortable-based society. So what happens after that? Well, we hop on the computer screen, whether we're sitting in our bed, we're sitting on a couch, or whatever it might be. I know some people had to go into work, but what do? Well, you sit in your car. Then you go to work and everything's nice and climate controlled. You have air conditioning in your car, your home, heat in your home or your work. You head to work and, well, you might have a coffee, you might have another drink, whatever it might be. Lunchtime rolls around, you purchase a sandwich, you purchase a salad, whatever it might be. And then you head home, you have dinner, you sit in the couch and you relax and lounge about for a couple hours, maybe have another snack before bed. And, you hit the hay and you call it a day. Well, when you look at that, a lot of people might love that lifestyle, right? So they're leading a very comfortable lifestyle. They're getting paid well or well enough to support themselves and their lifestyle. Again, this is a very privileged, I'm not saying it's not privileged, it is privileged, but it's just very comfortable. It's very at ease. Our bodies don't have to work very much, and our mind, I wouldn't say, is overly taxed. It is going through repetitive tasks that, yes, do take some thought process, and you are working, so I'm not saying that, but what's happening is we're becoming complacent. We're becoming complacent with all of the technology that we have, with all of the innovation we have, and really the ease of work. I myself am part of this virtual working based culture out there. I work from my office in front of my computer screen on a camera, whatever it might be. When I hold meetings with my team, it's over Zoom. Like we do all of those specific things. And we are using Slack for our day-to-day software. And we have dozens and dozens of employees all over the United States and some all over the world. So it's a great way to communicate. It's a great way to chat with one another. But remember, again, I'm someone that likes to track my movement, track all of these things. And if I wasn't tracking it, like the average person, I might be getting 3,000 steps a day. And I've known this now for quite some time because, I began tracking a lot of my private wellness clients back in 2015, 2016, when the biometric-based trackers were starting to become a little bit bigger. Back then, it was like a Withings and a few others. Now, of course, I'm doing a lot more Friday reviews in these, but the Oura Ring, the Fitbit, the Apple Watch, etc. So when I look at this, though, I say, okay, as humans, we're meant to move. As humans, we're meant to think, we're meant to innovate. And the problem is a lot of this, we're really becoming spoon-fed. We're given everything. And again, like, I don't want to say that you don't work for it, you do, but really not from a big personal growth mindset and not from a physical growth mindset. So now our physiology is becoming weaker. We're very sedentary as a population unless we have to now purposely think of not being sedentary. So I want to just share with you, I did this podcast a few weeks back. We'll try to link it up on today's show notes. Today's show notes will be over at stephencabral.com/1942. And I went over on the pandemic weight gain. It was episode 1909. If you want to check that out, stephencabral.com/1909. And I went over that the average weight gain is really about 20 pounds, higher in some cases, 29 pounds, and some people even more. And when you look at it, it's not difficult to understand why. It's just not. It's just the weight starts to creep up with when you become less sedentary. I mean, even working from home is most likely you're more sedentary than you were even commuting to work, because at least you had to walk to your car and move around, and maybe you walked around the office. And then also at home, you just have instant access to your refrigerator, your cabinets, and you just get into this routine. You might have a drink, an alcoholic drink with dinner, and you can just kind of see how the body begins to kind of slouch and just slumber and weaken and become a little bit more, I would say, sloth-like. And it's okay. And again, again, this is for us to become more self-aware. But if you're self-aware, you can understand, okay, this is how I'm now working. But if this is how you're now working, what do we need to do? Well, we need to get into a little bit more of a growth-based mindset in terms of the body, which means that we need to get that body moving, because honestly, there's no better way to stave off mental and cognitive-based decline than with physical exercise. There's a lot of reasons that we do know why this is so helpful, but there's also a lot of reasons why we don't know still in science today. But, again, if you're spending 20 minutes doing a Sudoku or any type of like mind-based game for your health or for your mental health, great. But it doesn't even come close to touching how powerful it is to exercise for your brain. There's absolutely night and day. And I'm not talking about just going for a walk. We need to get that body moving and strength training with weights 2 to 3 times a week. You don't need to be crushing yourself with 3 rep to 5 rep sets. You can do 10 to 15 rep sets, move a weight within your comfort zone, not too comfortable. You need to stress your body, but maintain good form. Today's not a training Thursday, though, so we're not going to talk about this specifically. And it's not even just about moving your body, but it's understanding that this body and this mind were meant to serve you. They're yours. They're nobody else's. They're yours. But you have to take care of them. That's such a big point that we don't like to talk about. And certainly the media is not going to tell you this. If anything, they're going to say, it's not your fault. You just need, you were this, you were that. Listen, I get it. Nothing's your fault. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, though, once you become aware, you can't unlearn that. Once you know that the average person takes about 3,000 steps a day when you should be walking about 10,000 steps per day, you can just see how inactive you are. I mean, 3,000 steps a day is basically walking for 30 minutes. That's it. So out of your entire 16 hours being awake, you walked for 30 minutes. Now, again, hopefully you can understand that the human body was meant to walk for more than 30 minutes a day. I mean, my French bulldog walks for more than 30 minutes a day. I mean, it's really important to look at, as humans, we're meant to be moving our bodies, getting active, staying active, and that also helps sharpen our mind. But really what I wanted to share with you is this, is that because of this, it's not just comfort, it's complacency. And I'm not against complacency if you have met all of your goals for your life, not just being happy. Okay, so let me take a step back. You could be very happy right now. Okay, I'm happy right now. I'm content. However, if my life did not improve from where it is today, 10 years from now, I would not be content. So I want to repeat that. I'm happy with where I am today, which I think we all should. We should give gratitude for where we are. Now, you can be happy, but like, no, I don't need things to change. Well, think about that though. 10 years from now, do you want to be in the same spot as today? Because if you do, and you're good with that, well, then you're good, right? So keep on doing what you're doing. But I also want you to look at it like this, like you might be good today, but remember, if what you're doing today continues, it's most likely there's a decline, there's a fall off. So if you're only doing what you're doing right now, and you're like, oh yeah, I gained a little bit of weight, no big deal. No, it's no big deal now. But over 10 years, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. I mean, when you look at it, it's only 4 or 5 pounds a year. Slow, steady decline. So do we need to change things today or even this week, right? Do we need to change things in order to stop that decline, even if we're happy with where we are right now? And part of this is, again, it's forward thinking. I think that's important, giving gratitude for where we're at right now, but understanding that the future you needs to continue to grow. So the future you is going to become a little bit more catabolic naturally with aging. The muscles begin to deteriorate, the bones begin to deteriorate, the brain begins to deteriorate, but not if you continue to strengthen the body and also sharpen the mind with new tasks. And that brings me to my next point. This next point, I read a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, "You must do the thing you don't think you cannot do or think you cannot do. Do the thing you think you cannot do." And I know after, reading her, not her whole biography, but a lot about her life, she is not someone earlier in her life who was known for a lot of inner strength. She said she was crippled by fear in many different instances. So what changed, though, was her in adulthood having to face a lot of what frightened her. And every time she did, her quote was this: "Once you've lived through and met it," meaning your fear, "and lived through it and found that afterwards you are more free than you were before." And obviously her husband, right, said the only thing to fear is fear itself. Well, that's a little bit, I would say that's a little bit too out there. The only thing to fear is fear itself. But really, what are we saying? We're saying that a lot of times we're not going after that next level in life, and we're living a life of comfort and complacency simply because we believe that that next chapter for us is a little bit too big. It's a little bit too overwhelming. And we're a little bit anxious whenever we think about getting to that place, because it's going to involve us leaving our comfort zone, leaving our place of complacency. We know that if we want to get to that next level in body or relationship or in health or in spirituality or in career or finance, we know that we're going to have to do more than we are right now. We're going to have to do something different than we are right now. It may require us to learn a new skill that we don't have right now. And if we are to do any of those things, we enter into the unknown. And with that unknown comes fear, until we begin to train ourselves to do hard things or to do the thing that we don't think that we can do. And why did Eleanor Roosevelt specifically say, do the thing that you think you cannot do? It's because every time you take on a new challenge, it doesn't have to be the hardest challenge in the world. I don't recommend starting there. But every time you take on a new challenge and you accomplish it, you strengthen your mind, you strengthen your resolve, and you strengthen your discipline. Because you understand that there's only so many ways that you're going to fail before you get it right. And you begin to understand that, hey, if I can accomplish this and I didn't think I could, then I could probably accomplish the next thing. And that's the truth. So what I want you to do today is think about the things that you know you should probably be doing, but you're feeling a little bit too complacent, a little bit too comfortable. So if you are willing to maybe step a little bit outside of that comfort zone, make the first goal, not your biggest goal, and you were willing to say, well, you know what? Maybe I will try exercising on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. Maybe if you do that and you accomplish that, you're going to feel Like, okay, I did this. What's the next thing I can add, right? Because this is about adding things to your life that pay you back years from now. So after you add in the exercise, you get that body nice and strong, nice and healthy, so that it can carry you through life, give you plenty of energy, right? That's why you want to do that for your body, not out of vanity for vanity's sake, but actually to strengthen it, to make it healthier, because it's going to pay you back. It's going to allow you to have more energy. So then you go after your next goal. You say, okay, well, what's the next goal? It might be a skill that you need to acquire or that you want to acquire. You may not need to do anything, but that you want to acquire, because if you learn this skill, it's going to make you happier, and it's going to make you a whole lot more valuable to whatever that next stage is in your development, career, etc. So what I ask you to do is this. Think about the goals that you're looking to achieve. What's one that we can start off on that would enhance your health or your body, or maybe your career, finance, your spirituality, or relationship? Start with one. Don't start with the biggest one. Accomplish that. Then don't let it go. Keep it in your life. Then what's the next one that you can add? And remember, how I would do these myself is to actually look at, what do I need to do, right? What do I need to do for the 10 years from now me? Well, the 10 years from now me still needs to be strong, still needs to be healthy, still needs to have lots of energy, still needs to have great relationships with family. Like, that's how I look at it. So if I'm 10 years from now, my oldest daughter is going to be going off to college. Like, I still need to have plenty of energy to be there for her, for my other daughter, to be able to go travel around the country if the country's open, then be able to speak, be able to, miss a night's sleep every once in a while if I have to with travel. It's all of these different things. Like, I need to keep myself healthy and in shape now to be able to do that 10 years from now. Right? It starts today. And if every once in a while I miss a workout, okay, it's not the end of the world when I have 365 days. It's a slippery slope. That's what I know. And it can begin to slide real fast, right? It's about 2 weeks from not exercising that you begin to feel the effects. So that's why we want to make sure that we have a regimen that we can maintain. So if you say, I'm going to go to the gym every day, okay, maybe you will. Maybe it's a quick workout, 20, 30 minutes, great. But if you can't maintain that, it might be difficult to set that as a goal, and probably not the most realistic. Maybe you set aside 30 minutes 3 or 4 times a week. I think that might be more appropriate, easier to fit in your schedule and make happen, especially if you've listened to any of my previous Mindset and Motivation Mondays where I talk about getting back an hour of your day for you. Because if you get back an hour of your day for you, you'll be better for everybody else. There's just no doubt about it. So I'm going to give you one more quote from Eleanor Roosevelt that I want you to think about over the rest of today and hopefully this week. She said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face." And how I view that is this. Every time you think about a new goal that you want for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, it can seem frightening. It can seem overwhelming. But what I want you to do is this. Begin to look at it with a new set of eyes. Begin to look at it as someone that knows they can accomplish anything that they set their mind to. That they can begin to break that goal down into smaller pieces that are much easier to accomplish. And that when you do that, you can understand that it's just one more goal, one more accomplishment you're going to achieve in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Mindset and Motivation Monday. If this show is helpful, please do feel free to pass it along to anybody else that you believe it could serve. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. Your support means the world to me. It really does, which is why I love to be able to create offers like this for our Equal Life and podcast listener community. We are right now offering over at Equal Life a buy one Fatlocity, gift one to anyone of your choice. We've never done this before. It's essentially a $99 giveaway for someone that you believe would be a great fit for Fatlocity, or someone that you would love to have join you for our Fatlocity weight loss system. Remember, this is the top scientifically proven weight loss system in the world, with over 24 clinically verified studies based on the exact patented ingredients inside of Fatlocity. You can check it all out by simply going to equi.life/Fatlocity, and you'll learn all about the system. Not only do you get the nutritional supplements backed by science, which are the ingredients inside of that are clinically proven orthomolecular nutrients and blended with Ayurvedic-based herbal nutrients, but you also get my personal course that I give you for free whenever you sign up for Fatlocity. It's going to give you the diet plan, the nutrition plan. It's going to help you learn about your carbohydrate tolerance, which I talked about years ago, and it's now becoming much more popular. So it's all inclusive. It really is. It is the system that's going to help you burn the fat and keep it off, even if you haven't been successful in the past. And because we know that really you want to embody and dive into a weight loss program with a partner. It just makes it so much better when you have the two of each other to lean on, right? When times are getting a little bit tough for you, then you can lean on someone else. And when they're having challenges, they can lean on you. You're both going through the system together. So right now, over at equi.life, you can click on the button right on the homepage while supplies last of buy one Fatlocity, gift one free. Head on over. Join up with a friend. We would love to hear your success story soon. Take care.